I honestly spent all day actually procrastinating doing this video. Does procrastination, does laziness also seep into self-doubt? Does self-doubt bring in the procrastination and laziness too? I don't know. I have ideas for these videos and I want to do like more of them, but my issue is, not my issue, but like it's tough for me to talk about things in general. So this is like, again, this is only my third video that I'm putting out there. And I know these aren't getting like a lot of views probably from my self-doubt. My self-doubt here, this is a perfect transition. So the hardest thing for me is, talking to you all about these things, because for me, it's the procrastination part of wanting to, talk about my journey and where I want to be and how I want to grow as a filmmaker, a director of photography and stuff like that. And I want to do that. I want to challenge myself to do that. And the procrastination comes in because I'm like, oh, I'll just wait another day, or oh, I'll just do it later, or oh, this, that, and the other thing, right? Or life happens and I'm like, oh, I'm just so tired today. I don't want to do anything. I want to be lazy. If we're talking honestly, and I want to be honest and transparent with you all 100% when I do these things, because I think that's the best way of, letting people know who I am and trying to, show the world who I am as well too, so they can understand me better as a person, is, in that subconscious. And I don't know if you had this, let me know if you have the same deal too, but subconsciously in the back of my head, I have self-doubt. So I'm always doubting myself. I'm never the type to, go, oh, my shot's awesome, or my shit's amazing. Like, yeah, I'll joke around here or there, but in the back of my head, I'm always like, that wasn't great. I could do better. I can be better. I can, do the next thing better. I'm always like, how do I get better? I don't want to stay stagnant. I want to, continue to go. And like, one day I'll be happy at that peak, right? Maybe for a little bit, but I'm never going to be truly happy until the next thing I do and I grow on the next thing. And even that, the self-doubt is always there because, I doubt myself in my ability a lot of times too. And I'm scared. I did an announcement trailer for my friend, and luckily enough, this is, now I'm talking about this after we did this, and this episode's later on in the future. We shot this announcement trailer for a Kickstarter that he wants to do. I felt good about it, but I went to go look at the footage and I'm like, fuck, man, like, I'm just upset with myself because it could have been better. It could have been like lit better. And I'm using my nan lights and they're about 56, 6500, I believe, balanced. And I'm shooting at 5600 and it looked good. But when you bring it in, I'll show you like the video here. When you bring it in, it didn't look great to me. It just, my camera, my Blackmagic, this camera right here is a very tricky mother because when I get to, this camera's like 8 years old, maybe even like 7 or 8 years old. And, the technology is finally caught up to itself where it doesn't look great anymore. And you're starting to see the faults of it. I think personally, I shot ProRes for this, and, you look at it and I go, shit, like, after we shot with a red Komodo for Kevin and Winnie, it's like going back Godiva chocolate to Hershey's again, right? So it's like, it's not the same, and it doesn't, like, it's not giving you the same feel that you want it. I don't shoot with this as much anymore. I try not to shoot with this thing, and like, I just don't like how it looks. And it's that self-doubt when I saw the footage, and that self-doubt and go, am I good? Like, how can I, and I go, how can I make it better next time? Like, I feel like I disappointed George and Cody, who was there, my friend Cody and my friend George. George is the one who's making the Legend Jason fan film. And I know that they'll say, oh, it looks great, it's fine, but deep down, again, that self-doubt comes in, and it's like, are they just saying that to you to be nice, which I don't think they are, but you're having that self-doubt, and you're like, well, is it good? Am I good? What am I doing wrong? Like it looked great in my mind. I did what I wanted to do. I wanted to, add in this like moonlight and really shine through the blinds, and then add this one light in, and I'm like, and then it's like well, is it the camera or is it me? Because now it's like I'm getting what I want, but is the camera now holding me back and giving me even more self-doubt? Again, it goes back to like this conversation I had about gear on Instagram Live I did, and I'm like, gear does matter, right? So like, again, if you have an older camera, it's not doing all these things that you want it to do, where you can't really help emphasize the image you're trying to get through your lens as well. So there's all these things and feelings, and I think the self-doubt again goes into this procrastination. This procrastination goes into laziness. It all even though procrastination and laziness are two different things, they all blend with each other. And again, like even self-doubt blends in with procrastination and laziness, because when you're being lazy and being procrastinative, if that's the word, again, self-doubt can creep in, and then when you're self-doubting yourself, you become like, oh, I don't need to do that, I'll do that later, because you're doubting yourself as well. But I just wanted to let these thoughts out and let them flow and see where I can, at least spark a conversation, see what you guys think about this stuff. Like, where do you have a problem of like creating, right? Where's your brick wall that's stopping you, and like how do you pass that brick wall? I feel like I'm at a weird time in my life. I'm 34 now as the video's out. Where I'm at, I just want to make the best products possible and the best things possible, because I want to be, obviously you want to be the best, I want to be the best, and if I'm not being the best and trying to be the best, then what am I trying to achieve, right? So I'm not trying, like, okay, yeah, money's great, but like I want to be remembered as well. Like I think that's the thing too. Like I think the self-doubt, and this, again, tangent alert as well, the self-doubt comes as well from wanting the goal of being remembered, right? I want to be remembered. I want people to go, oh man, John DiMarco is great. Like John DiMarco is a great DP. It was a great cinematographer. I remember this movie he made and that movie he made. And I think I'd rather be remembered than have those other things that we all want. Self-doubt's fear. I'm always afraid. I'm always afraid of what I'm making. I'm always afraid of being judged, and I gotta stop doing that too. And it's just like, I'm just being honest. Like this shit right here I'm doing for everyone is therapeutic as anything. And I know it's not really talking about filmmaking, but I think there's a big thing about filmmaking and being afraid, being fearful, being self-doubt, being a procrastinator, being lazy. They're all there, and we all are guilty of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I think everyone's guilty of something in that regard. I'm guilty of a lot of these things, and because I'm self-doubting what I can do with the tools I have, and it's like I shouldn't do that. But when I look at the product of what I'm producing, as I was saying earlier about like that video I made for the announcement trailer, I'm like, oh my God, I know I can do better. It looks like shit. Like, what did I do wrong? What's going on here? Like, I am just thinking about the Kickstarter, and I want to make a better Kickstarter video than I did for this. And I feel, and I get nervous now because I'm like, oh my God, can I, like the way I'm envisioning it, the way I want to tell like George about this Kickstarter video, I'm nervous, not just to tell him, but like also how, if we can pull it off, because I want to visually make it exactly what I'm seeing in my brain. Like, I think that's why I'm talking about this today. I need to vent and or just let it all out and talk about what I feel like I did wrong. And like, maybe I didn't do anything wrong, but I feel like what I gave my friend for an announcement trailer, I feel like I did a terrible job, and I wish I could have done better. And I wish I thought about it more, because like we wanted to shoot it outside, but it was windy. Like the elements were not with us that day, and it like threw me all off, because I'm like, well, how do I do this by the damn dining room, which is over here with like we'll do a 50 and 85 millimeter, which kind of almost look the same because of the distance and stuff like that. But I'm like, well, shit, like we'll backlight it. I'm like, well, that, like, my whole idea outside would have been 20 times better, because I was like, oh, we'll just overhead light, George, this, that, and the other thing, make it really nice, really pretty, have some really good backlight. But like the inside, just like that loop threw me off. Like, and I'm not bad at that, like, thinking on my feet. Like I've done that in the past, especially with news and stuff like that, but I just felt like thrown off completely. And I felt like I didn't produce something that I should have produced better. And it's just like I feel bad, and this self-doubt is just eating at me, and I'm like, am I good enough? Am I good enough? And then I think about Kevin and Winnie, and I go, I am good enough, and I got a dog now in front of me who's kissing me. Thank you, Teddy. You think I'm good enough? Seriously, like, it's all, like, you have one bad shoot and that can just eat you at, like, it shouldn't eat at you, but it eats at me, because it's like, I know I can do better. And I guess in that regard, I need to just look forward and just know I need to do better, which I'm thinking about. But it's about having standards, and I have these standards that I want, and I need to be good at. Because if I don't have standards, like, how do I like measure myself, right? And if I don't have these standards, I can't measure myself getting better next time. And again, maybe I was just having an off day, and I'm just putting too much pressure on myself for all that and wrong reasons. But it's like, man, I want to do something, and I want to make an impact. I just want to make impacts every time I shoot. I want to make it. I need to just improve upon myself, and I need to just stop. Like, it's just hard to explain. Like, it's not stop caring, but I need to just let go and just be free in a sense, and like obviously care, but like go in the sense of like not give a worry. Because if maybe I don't give a worry, I'll be free and be able to really just go, hey, we're gonna kick it out of the park. I'm gonna end this on a positive note, and I'm gonna try to turn it into a positive note. And self-doubt, obviously, I don't want to have that anymore. I don't think anyone wants that in their life. It's tough because as a creative, you have that self-doubt always creeping in your mind. And I think doing these vlogs kind of off the cuff, kind of having an idea of what I want to say, but not really going into that direction. Obviously, as you can tell, my vlogs are feeling all over the place, and I'm trying to find a theme. And I have ideas I want to say before I start these, and then I just turn into mush. And even if I write them, I think sometimes it would still just be as fumbly and bumbly. But in regards to that, like, this is gonna help me get better and become better, and really work on my craft. And I need to show people what I do, and I want to show people what I do, because I think, again, someone's maybe on the same journey that I'm on, or someone who was on the same journey I was on, and they can at least maybe give someone advice. They can give me advice, or I want to listen and learn. I need to absorb more information. I need to become better, right? I want to become a better person. I want to become a better cinematographer. I want to do all the things to be betterer. And again, doing this, I think, helps, alleviate the self-doubt, which will always be there in that regard too. And even that, I kind of, again, trying to end on a positive note, I want to talk about my experience with podcasting, because this kind of circles around the whole the whole procrastination, laziness, and self-doubt shit. So I had a podcast 2 years ago, maybe more than that, and I'm visited by dogs again. I feel like Ebenezer damn Scrooge. But I had a podcast a couple years ago. But you know what? I think the dogs are telling me to shut the hell up, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And we'll talk about I'll talk about the podcast in the next episode and explain my whole history of podcasting.